Hi everyone, and welcome back to your English grammar lesson. Now, we have a big lesson today, so get ready. We are going to learn all about comparing with adjectives, okay? Now, it sounds small, it sounds simple, but this is a big topic, okay? Now, our learning goals for today are to learn how to compare nouns with adjectives. It's not hard, but there is a lot to learn, so get ready. Make sure you write some of this down. That actually would be good. Take some notes, okay? Now, sometimes we need to tell how two or more things, right? Two or more nouns are different from each other, how they're not the same. If I take these two phones, are they the same? No. But we have to explain that they're not the same. And to do that, we use adjectives. We compare with adjectives. Now, an adjective describes a noun, which we've learned before, but it also can be used to describe the differences. And that's the key thing here that we need to do. There are two ways to do this, okay? It sounds easy so far. There's two ways, right? We can compare two nouns, two things, okay? We can compare two things against each other. This versus this, who wins, okay? And the other way is to compare this versus all other nouns of the same kind. So this phone versus all other phones, okay? So those are the two ways we can compare using adjectives. Now, there are 6 ways that we can change these adjectives, okay? But don't worry, like I say all the time, don't worry. We'll break this down. It's not bad, okay? But there are 6. So get a piece of paper and get ready to write a little bit, okay? A little bit. Number 1 syllable adjectives. Okay. Now, if we have a 1 syllable adjective, a very short adjective, if it's 2 nouns, we're comparing the 2 nouns, okay? We just add ER to the adjective. That's not bad, right? Most of the time, this is what you're going to do, yeah. And if we're comparing 1 noun against everything, we're going to add EST to the adjective. How does this look, right? Because I don't like the grammar rules, but I want to see how it looks so I can remember the pattern. So our adjective here is bright, okay? It means lots of light, like in my studio here. There's lots of light. Let's look at the first one. We're going to compare 2 nouns. This light is brighter, right? ER, brighter than that light, right? This phone is longer than this phone, okay? ER, 2 nouns. Now, if we have 1 noun versus everything, we say, this is the brightest light. See in the picture, that red arrow? That one light is brighter than everything. So we say it is the brightest light, okay? It is the most, the brightest. That's not so bad. Okay. Number 2, adjectives ending with an E. So the word ends with E. This one's kind of nice because when it's the 2 nouns, we just add R and make it ER, like the last one. The last one, we add ER, but here there's in E already. We have the E, so we just put the R. ER is there now, okay? And if it is, if it's like against all nouns, there we go, I lost my thoughts. We add ST, right, to make EST. So cool. Number 1 and number 2, we're still trying to get ER and EST. Great. It's kind of like 1 and 2 are just number 1. It's nice. Let's look at an example. Our adjective is safe. See, it ends with an E. So when we compare 2 nouns, we just put the R. The boy is safer with the coach, right? ER, he's safer. Now, if we compare all 1 noun against everything. I'm going to stumble a lot. Let's look at this one. The girls are the safest. They're the most safe, right? They're the safest out of the pool. They're safe in the pool because there's a teacher, but when they sit out of the pool, oh, they're the safest, okay? So not so bad. Number 1 and number 2, they look the same. We need ER and EST, okay, cool. Number 3, this is going to sound familiar too. Adjectives ending with a consonant, right, and a Y. So if a word ends with the Y, remember the rhyme that we said? If it's 2 nouns, we change the Y to an I and add ER. We still want that ER, okay? And if it's against all other nouns, we change the Y to an I and add EST. Let's look at an example here. Our adjective is busy. See the consonant S and the Y at the end? Okay, so that matches what we need to do. We change that Y to an I, and it's Sarah is busier. See, that Y became I, and we added ER. Busier than Amanda today. Oh, okay. And now if we're comparing one against all, we say Marco is the busiest. Y to an I and add EST. The busiest in the office. He's working so hard. He's so busy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We're trying to get the ER and the EST, and we have to make sure that we change that Y to an I. That's not so bad, right? Okay, let's look at number 4. 1 syllable adjectives, really short guys, okay? Ending in a single vowel and a consonant, okay? Before we had a consonant and a Y. Now we have the opposite. We have a single vowel and a normal letter, right? A normal letter. If this happens to a word, we double the consonant, right? And add ER for 2 nouns. When we're comparing 2 things, we double the consonant and add ER. Okay. And if it's against all others, we double the consonant and add EST. Look at that, it's still ER and EST. That's not really that bad, right? Let's look. Fat. We're going to compare 2 nouns, right? So in the picture, he is fatter, TT, okay? We doubled the consonant, TT, and added ER. He is fatter than her. Oh. And when we're comparing 1 against all, this man is the fattest, TT plus EST, in the group. He's the fattest in the group. Poor guy. Well, he's eating a donut. It's his own fault. So not so bad, okay? Let's look at number 5. All adjectives with more than 2 syllables and some with 2 syllables, right? Whenever it says some, just remember that you will learn these weird things that don't follow the rule, okay? You'll learn them. Now, long words, long adjectives. So that's what it says. More than 2 syllables, long adjectives. When we're comparing 2 nouns, it's more plus the adjective. We don't change the adjective. We just say more, okay? And if it's 1 versus all, we say most, okay? There we go. Now we've changed from the pattern. 1 through 4, we had that ER and EST. And now we have more and most. Okay, so in my mind, I hear 2 things, teacher. That's how I think of it. Let's look at an example here. Our adjective is careful, okay? So it's a longer word, and we can't fit it with any of the other ones, okay? We can't put carefuler. Ugh, it's not a word. So if we do 2 nouns, look at this picture of the 2 girls skating. She is more careful. See, she's got elbow pads and knee pads on. Her friend doesn't. So she is more careful. Okay. But if we look at 1 versus all here, look at the little boy. He is the most careful. He's got knee pads, elbow pads, wrist things. He's got a helmet. He's so careful. He's the most careful of all the children. Okay. Not bad, right? Now let's look at number 6. We made it. We made it to the 6th one. All adjectives, when you talk about less of something, right? Like the negative. 1 through 5, we've been comparing in a positive way. This is bigger, longer, there's more, right? But what if it's not more? What if it's less? Okay? This was my subject. This is bigger than this one. But now maybe this is my subject. We're going to say less plus the adjective, or if it's one versus all, least plus the adjective. See this? One versus this one? This one is less big, right? It's less large, less long, okay? It's less. Let's take a look at this example. Our adjective is happy, okay? Now when we compare two things, see the girl in the background? She is less happy. She's less happy than the other people, okay? Than her friend next to her. She's less happy. But what about when we compare one versus all? He, this man with the red arrow, he is the least happy in the whole area, right? In that whole restaurant. He just looks horribly sad. He's destroyed, right? He is the least happy. Okay. So 1 through 5, we're comparing positively, and 6 compares negatively. That's not so bad now, right? It seemed difficult when I said 6, and you're like, oh no, right? Yeah, there's a lot of ways to compare. But once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. You use these so often, you're going to learn them. And that's the nice part about it. You're going to use them so much, you'll learn them very quickly, okay? That's a positive there. So let's take a look at some samples here, right? Our subject is art. Our adjective is enjoyable. And we're going to compare it against all other nouns, okay? So, art is my most enjoyable, against all. Most enjoyable hobby, right? When we break this down, we say what? Art. Okay, what is my most enjoyable hobby? That's kind of nice, right? It's long, but the adjectives, those descriptive words, all go into that what part still. So that wasn't so bad. Let's look at another one. Our subject is the team. Our adjective is happy. And we're going to compare with two different things, two nouns, okay? So, the team is happier now that they are finished, right? They weren't happy before when they were working, but now that they're finished, whoa, they are happier. Okay, cool. So let's break it down. What? The team, what? Is happier now. Why? That they are finished. I get it. This isn't so bad. Our next one. I'm going to try and say it right. Burj Khalifa. Burj. There's something at the end there. If I said it wrong, let me know. Right? The Burj Khalifa. And our adjective is tall. And we're going to compare it against all other nouns. Okay? So here's the answer. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest, EST, right? Tallest building in the world. I really think I said that right. Yeah. So what? The Burj Khalifa. What is the tallest building? Where? In the world. No big deal. Okay, one more. Let's take out. Let's try this one more. Takeout? I want some takeout. Subject is new X-ray. Our adjective is clear. Clear means we can see through it, right? Like the bottle. Now we're going to compare two nouns in this one. The new X-ray is clearer than the first one. Now, you could have said more clear. That would be accurate too. When we're having a conversation, it's easier to say clearer, right? But if you were going to do an academic, you want it to sound formal, really proper or something, you could say more clear, right? But it's not necessary. This follows the rules. It's clearer, okay? So don't worry about that one. Now, what? The new X-ray. What is clearer? How? Than the first one. I get it. Okay. So, how do we compare adjectives? Well, 6 ways. Let's look at these first one, okay? One syllable adjectives, we add ER or EST, okay? Second way. Adjectives ending in an E, we just add R and ST to make the ER, EST. Number 3, adjectives ending in a consonant and a Y. We change the Y to an I and add ER or EST. Not so bad. Number 4, one-syllable adjectives ending with a single vowel and a consonant. So that's really long. I had to read that. But once you practice it, it's easy. You're like, oh, I doubled this, okay? So double the consonant and add ER, EST, right? Taller, fattest. Yeah. Okay. Now, number 5, all adjectives with 3 or more syllables, long words, right? Long adjectives. And some with 2, which you remember, okay? Use more or most before the adjective. So this is the first one that changes that ER, EST pattern. Okay? And number 6, all adjectives that talk about a less of something, right? We're going negative. We're talking about how it has less. We use less or least before the adjective. Not bad, not bad. Okay, let's practice. Now, I think this quiz will be a little easier than before because I don't want you to make big sentences here. I just want you to change the adjective to fit the sentence, okay? So use the correct form of the adjective in the parentheses at the end of the sentence, okay? I want you to pause the video, write your answers down, and we'll come back and check them, okay? You can do this. Pause the video now. Okay, welcome back. I hope you paused it. If you didn't, disappointed. Pause the video and do the quiz, okay? Because we're going to check the answers now. Okay, number 1. Music is the most enjoyable subject of all. See, that of all for me. That's how we knew it was most, okay? Number 2. Mike's voice is lower than mine, right? Lower. We're comparing Mike's voice, 1, versus my voice, 2. Comparing 2. Lower. Number 3. It got me there. It is so clean that it is the least dirty of all the cars. See, that one was a tricky one, right? So clean, dirty. We had to make it a negative, right? It's not dirty, right? It's dirty. No, it's not dirty. It is the least dirty. That's the only way that made sense. All right. Number 4. The snake is more dangerous than the bunny. Snake versus bunny. More, okay? Comparing 2. Number 5. Daisy is the busiest teacher at our school. So in our school, this one teacher is busiest. Not so bad. And she really is. At my school, Daisy is so busy. And number 6. Lynn smashed her clay flatter than the other students. So Lynn versus the other students, right? Boom, boom, boom. She smashed it really flat. So, but that's against all others. No, it's not. It's against a singular group. The other students is a group. Lynn versus the group. So a group is still considered one. Be careful with stuff like that, okay? Comparing adjectives. It seemed really difficult, but, here we are, 19 minutes later, and I think you understand that it really wasn't that bad, right? It really wasn't that bad. The first ones were all pretty much the same. We're trying to get the ER and the EST somehow. And then the last one was just the negative. Not so bad. Now, if you have a question, let me know. Remember to send your answers to me. Write some practice sentences, right? See if you understand this, and I'll check it. Send it in the message or write it below the video here, okay? And I'll see you for the next lesson. Bye.